Queen Kyungishan Doshian.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so here we are now for game number 6 between ItsGosu and ZeNEX. We have Mr. ViBe from ItsGosu as our green Zerg here at the 3 o'clock position on Terminus, and his opponent down here at the 6 o'clock. That is Sparta. He is our red Terran player, so we are, let's see, at the 3 and 6 o'clock positions. Looks like ViBe is going to have pretty easy access to this third and natural if he wants to.
Yeah, it's the newer version of Terminus, so, you know, we've seen Zergs handle that different ways. We've seen a lot of them put down their macro hatch right next to the rocks at the third, just to get a little bit of mining started while they take down the rocks, so have to see what happens with that. ViBe does like to expand, as he is a Zerg player. They generally do like to build their hatcheries, don't they?
Yes.
So, and he did pick this map, too, so he's got a distinct plan in mind. I'd say the spawn positions are pretty good for ViBe, actually, too. I mean, he's in a position where he can harass the third with mutas if he decides to go with mutas fairly easily.
Sure.
And he'll be in a place, too, where I think he'll be a little bit more cognizant of drops coming into the main as well. So
definitely.
I think the positionings and everything, things are looking pretty good for ViBe initially. I know it's a very bold prediction, I guess, to make, and not that I'm biased at all. But
No.
Yeah.
You don't want to be. There's you know, we were talking a little bit yesterday about, like, you don't want to call games prematurely. You want to make it exciting for the audience, but yet there comes a certain point where you can't just be like, you know,
well, you have to be realistic about
right.
it too, you know.
So you don't want to be that guy who's like, spawn positions are bad for Sparta. That's GG. It's done.
Yeah,
it's done. Game's over. Wrap it up.
Well, hatch first for GoSu.ViBe.
Yes.
Going for the good old 15 hatchery, and I think he's going to be going for a 16 or 17 pool. This is actually something that is I like to do, actually, is go for that later hatch, later pool. Very, very economical. If you run into something like a 2-Rex, there's a good chance, too, that you'll have enough drones to handle it and also be able to mine quite a bit, too. Yeah, so you can see that. I believe that was a
17 pool, yeah.
Yeah, 17 pool, yep. That's actually something that Maro talked about quite a bit when I was with him in Korea back in the World Championships last year. He kept advocating going 16 hatch, 17 pool against Terran. Oops, losing your drone, though.
Yep.
ViBe. I guess it was trapped anyway.
Tisk. Yeah. And I mean, stealing gas isn't going to do anything other than waste resources from ViBe right now.
Yeah.
Due to the fact that it looks like we're going to have a reactor Hellion expansion, and there is our factory. So we'll probably see a reactor following that up pretty soon.
Yep,
so
reactor Hellion.
Gas.
Definitely the standard these days in TVZ. It's
certainly
easily the safest thing you can do, really. And I think, you know, in the first game, you kind of saw these builds that kind of became the standard. And I really feel like unless something major changes in the game, we're going to see reactor Hellions for the rest of time, you know?
Certainly. And it looks like we do have an SCV up now with a Marine, and, you know, kind of what you were talking about. ViBe feels it's okay to go ahead and pull a couple of drones off the line because he has so much, you know, so many extra drones to work with at the beginning of the game. And, of course, we know a couple of Zerglings are going to pop up here in a bit.
Mm-hmm. The other nice thing, too, is you can make your first 2 queens at almost the same time as well, which is
precisely what he
fun.
did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, I like this opening. It's one I always use in TVZ, or ZVT, rather.
Yes. And so here we go now. We have the command center being built on the low ground for Sparta, not building that inside of his base. He's going to take a little bit riskier approach, but of course, this is a pretty tight choke point to hold actually 3 bases, essentially. So just dropping down 1 bunker there up the front should keep him pretty well defended.
Well, the timing of when he saw things, too, kind of lets him know he's not going to be under any sort of pressure for quite a while, so why not build at the low ground?
Already we see him going for the destructible debris as well, so.
Yeah. So ViBe will indeed be taking a quick third. As I mentioned earlier, he does like to make a lot of bases. He's not the type of player like, say, you know, Lenok, for example, that likes to sit on 2 base and be very heavy 2 base and safe before he takes a third. ViBe tends to want to expand a lot, like your Idras or your Rets of the world, I guess you could say.
Certainly.
Or Slayer's Mins, if you wanted to go back a little bit.
Definitely. You know, but you were talking about, you know, players that like to put their macro hatch down by their third and stuff like that. And we were just talking about Red as well, the Reds of the world. He's a player who loves to do that, especially on a map like Tal'Dorei Malter. Watch out and make sure that this Ring Tumor doesn't go down. Just needs 1 more hit and dies, not canceled. Yeah. So that's 25 energy just gone from that queen.
Yep. Oh, well, she'll make more.
Yes, that's true.
Fine.
It happens. Evolution Chamber going down now as he starts to wall this in a little bit. But the Hellions sneak on by, cooking themselves a couple of kills here. One drone does go down, and we have a few Lings brought in to defend as well, along with his Queen. But the Hellions could sneak on by into the main.
Oh, looks like he's going to try to block the ramp. Ooh, nice
it.
little ramp block. Barely gets those Hellions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that could have been a bit of a dangerous situation, but ViBe handled it well. Got a little bit lucky. Things worked out okay.
Yes.
Yep.
But, all right, so here we have Sparta now dropping down 2 reactors on his additional barracks. Has not swapped this off onto a tech lab yet, waiting for Stimpack to finish up first. And then he'll, of course, move those on there. We do have +1 armor is the first upgraded choice out of the Evolution Chamber for ViBe.
I think that's a good idea, and that's something you see Zergs do quite a bit now. Of course, it does keep your Zerglings just a little bit safer against everything. And, you know, if you're going to be in a situation where you're going to come under that aggression early on, you know, the more durable your units, the better. Usually it's armor for defense and attack for aggression.
Yeah.
That's kind of the general rule of thumb you see Zerg players following.
And we already do have that macro hatch coming up for ViBe as well, as he clears up those rocks with just, well, 2 Zerglings. That'll take about a year. We'll come back there eventually when the game's done.
Part of the swarm is out.
Baneling is coming up now 4-5 though, so Ling Baneling to start the game. Layer Tech is already on the way, could easily move into Spire as well. And actually, this is very, very quick infrastructure with the starport as well, so he is going to have quite the production here in a second. I love the supply depot wall going across the front as well.
Yep, these Hellions just kind of hanging out to make sure that no creep tumors really get spread. And so yeah, it's going to really kind of reduce the creep spread until ViBe decides to move out either with enough Lings or, you know, like we see there, putting some forward spine crawlers in position. Sure. And that'll chase those Hellions away. Oh, Sparta not paying attention. Barely gets his Hellions away. I thought he was going to lose one for sure there.
Yeah, definitely, especially the way the one was surrounded. But escapes with 15 points of health. He's still the one at the front as well, shaking in his little Hellion boots.
Guess so. He's in a heap of trouble.
Well,
no, go back and click on a Hellion. Click on a Hellion.
Yes.
Look at the 2D picture they choose for the Hellion. The guy just looks terrified. He's like, am I about to die?
Oh, God. I mean, he is actually, so that's a fairly accurate depiction, honestly.
Yeah, pretty much.
A lot of creep tumors going down for ViBe, though. He also has his 3rd base coming up, but that is a lot of Marines. Combat Shield going to finish up here in about 15 seconds as well.
Yep, and I don't know if this push is going to work terribly well for Sparta. Yeah, we'll see.
Hit at such a weird time. He attacks, yes, before Baneling speed is done, but there's a lot of defenses here for ViBe. And add into that, Combat Shield now done.
Yeah,
I mean,
got Stim and Combat Shield, so pretty good timing by Sparta.
Yeah, I would have figured he would have just gone in like 5 seconds later.
Yep, ViBe, though, he's going to be plenty safe with this. He's got enough Lings, he's got enough Banelings. Yeah.
And now he's got a pretty good economy going as well. Yes, he is
down
in supply, but he's got so many bases, he can sit off this 3 base for a very long time.
Well, I like how ViBe preemptively moved his units up to the main, too, just in case there was going to be any sort of drop shenanigans.
Yes.
He knows his Terran players, that's for sure.
And we actually have the 3rd base being constructed for Sparta as well, so it looks like we are in for that. You know, Terminus is one of those maps that I talk about in kind of forced macro games where you have... It's so easy to take 3 bases, you just kind of think to yourself, well, because I'm taking 3 bases this game, and that's kind of how every game on Terminus goes that goes past like 10 minutes, so...
Look at the supply right now. ViBe is actually down by about 10 supply. That's not something you really see terribly often in a ZVT.
Yeah, he has been banking a lot of gas and investing in multiple hatcheries, though, so...
That's true, yep. So this should swing around pretty soon after the Spire finishes, after the Lair finishes, and he's ready for this drop as well. That's the nice thing about Terminus, is that it's actually, if you pay attention, if you've got creep connecting everything rather, it's pretty easy to get the Zerglings and the Banelings in position in time.
Sure. Yeah, you're definitely right. And we do have, you know, a big drop over here on the left-hand side where those Banelings, as you mentioned, are waiting, but we also have to push through the front. We'll see if ViBe, you know, overreacts and brings everything out when this inevitable scan does go down to clear up some creep tumors.
Yep, there it is. He is going to get a lot of creep tumors. He's hitting the creep tumor lottery with this one.
Yeah, he is.
And ViBe moving out now. There's a Stim. Is he going to be able to catch him? He's moving off creep. Don't know if he should really pursue this far.
No, I don't as well, but he is going to put a stop to the drop over at the front pretty effectively as well.
Yep.
And it looks like he is eventually going to back up the rest of those units. Didn't take too many losses there.
Yep, he did pull back. There weren't really any siege tanks out quite yet for Sparta, so he could afford to pursue a little bit. And look at that, no drop happening at all for Sparta.
Right.
It's not going to work. ViBe's going to be able to easily clean this up without taking much damage.
And we do have a push through the front once again, though. A lot of those Marines at the drop have gone down. Here comes the rest of the Banelings, though. And these tanks are not sieged up.
Okay.
Oh, wow. And fighting on creep, overextending himself a little bit.
Yep, a little bit Sparta getting a little bit too aggressive. ViBe's going to chase him all the way back to the base. He's going to kill a lot of Marines, too. Wow.
13 Mutas making their way out as well. Yeah, he basically killed all of the Marines. So.
And is he just going to go for this? This is going to be interesting. He's got enough at home to defend, I guess, saving that clean. Nice job there. But he's going to attack at the natural.
And
pulling back.
Yep, it looks like there were a couple of siege tanks there, but he is worried about this drop up here. This drop now has finally started to do some damage. 13 workers have been killed, so Sparta has gotten himself a nice little win there. Actually ticked out the assimilator. I don't know if ViBe knows about this yet. There we go. Now finally shifting those anti-drop units over.
Whoa.
Yeah, tried to pick up there.
Didn't jump fast enough, I guess.
And let's see. Yeah, but this is just continued damage being done. Surprised Sparta found a way to actually make that work. You know, ViBe was on top of this for a very long period of time. Just let that one slip on through.
Yep, always going for Carapace first as well with his mutas. So he's planning on actually engaging some units here and there with those. He's not planning on just being really harassing. Obviously still, harassing with them. But when the time comes, those mutas are going to be right there on the front line with the rest of the units.
Yes, and it looks like they have to pull back right now. But that is a huge group of mutas that's actually started. There were 12 on the field. There are 8 more in production at the moment. And it's pretty quick time in the game, especially given what's happened to have 20 mutas out. And we're going to see if the anti-air defenses for Sparta are going to be enough. He is already starting a Thor.
Yeah, I think he's going to be just fine against the harassment here. And as you can see, it doesn't look like ViBe is really planning on doing a whole lot of damage with harassment. I think these mutas are going to come in much handier when they're picking off tanks or medevacs here and there like that. Wow, a little medevac donation.
Yep. Two mutas do go down, but the medevacs are lessened at the moment. ViBe actually going to his 4th at the same time, and that poor medevac going back home after suffering so much. And we do have an infestation pit up now with pathogen plants being researched. Yep,
the infestors will help quite a bit here, and those mutas, drawing a big stiff from Sparta. That's not bad at all. But can ViBe save this expansion? We'll see. I don't know. I think we might have a cancel here.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. It's going to be very, very difficult. There it is, canceled. And looks like he's going to make his way to either flank the army or completely bypass it.
I think he might be going for a bypass here. We'll see. Yeah, he's actually just going to run through, and the supply depots are lowered. Are they going to get raised in time?
Oh, no, they're not.
Oh, that is huge for ViBe. The army's so out of position right now for Sparta. ViBe has got an opportunity to do a lot of damage here, sending a few Banelings into that mineral line, more Banelings into the other mineral line. At the 3rd, he is going to absolutely cripple the economy of Sparta.
Yes, he is.
Very nicely done by ViBe.
More links inside of the main. How many workers have been killed? 35 and increasing at the moment. We do have a drop going on at the same time. Unfortunately, there are 3 spine crawlers there, and they should be able to nullify that for long enough for ViBe to get back.
Yeah, as long as ViBe keeps these mutas alive, he's going to be in a great position here going into the later stages of this game. Oh, Banelings even just kind of chilling out. They're okay. They're like, we don't want to blow up just yet, I guess. Oh, Greater Spire going down right in front of the dropship, so Sparta should know about that right away.
Yeah, has a pretty good sense of the timing of that as well.
I think so, yeah.
And looks like there's another lone Baneling just kind of hanging out there.
Boom! Oh, he didn't quite get SCV.
It's one SCV.
I'm going behind this command center. It's too dangerous on the other side.
Too bad I was attack mode. Okay, so here we go now. Pretty big force out of ViBe. Of course, he is going with cheaper throwaway units until the Greater Sparta comes up, but he's inflicted so much economic damage right now. Wow, Sparta down to 33 workers. Yes, he has 6 mules down, but wow.
Even with the mules, the economy isn't quite where it is. Oh, trying for the big doom drop here. Oh, and losing a medevac as well. Here's where that +1 carapace comes in handy that I was talking about, able to stay in the fight a little bit longer, long enough to get the rest of the units in position, and this drop is going to be annihilated. This could actually just be the end of the game right here.
Yeah, it could very well be, because Sparta loses a good portion of his fighting standing army. I mean, 3 medevacs went down before they were able to drop out most of their units.
He lost everything right there.
Yeah, that's not so good. He does have 39 Marines sitting back at home, stimming some of them up so we can hopefully catch these mutas, but very quick reaction time from ViBe. Oh, watch out, now running away.
Yeah, you do still need to be careful, even with the plus carapace upgrades. That Marine is just shooting at a big pile of goo. Not going to really accomplish a whole lot.
No, not really. Baneling's now behind this as well. We have a well-positioned siege tank that actually gets itself quite a few kills. Oh, and there's the scan. Automaton goes down as well. I am devastated.
Oh. Friendly fire, you know, no matter what side it is. And, oh, not really microing the Marines as well as he could, but is it going to be enough?
Wow, Sparta actually cleans that up really well, and he's got
not
quite a few Vikings and a lot of anti-air out for these Broodlords as well.
Not the best engagement really right there for ViBe. He's making those Broodlords though, but doesn't have a lot to defend. Now here's the thing, Sparta doesn't have any Vikings at all, so these Broodlords, as long as they stay away from the Marines, are going to be able to do a lot of damage. Looks like ViBe wants to be a little bit safer with it though.
And we do have a planetary fortress going inside this pocket expansion now, but there are only 36 workers still. He's only built 3 more workers since that big Baneling burst before.
Yeah.
We do have Thors being thrown in at the same time, but no further harassment at the moment from either player.
Oh, ViBe's in a great spot. I mean, he's got his 4th base on the way, or 4th base up rather. He's got his 5th base on the way, just finished right now.
Yep.
And so he's in a position to really kind of surge ahead economically. He's got the Broodlords out. He's got the defenses he needs. I'm a little bit surprised he's not more infestor heavy, but things are going okay. Yep, Broodlord's going to be just fine. Muta's there to defend.
Certainly. We do have continued Viking production, but it's only 2 at a time right now. And all those new Corruptors are popping out. Unfortunately, ViBe was supply blocked, but he'll clear up that supply right now and be able to morph those all into Broodlords here as soon as they catch up.
Yep, he did add on some infestors too, which is going to help quite a bit. I mean, at this point, Sparta's going to really need a fantastic engagement to get back in the game. That doesn't exactly help ViBe right there.
That was a pretty good start, yeah.
It's not bad.
We do have those infestors behind, though. And gotta watch out. One of them almost dead at the moment.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with those Broodlords. They take so long to morph. They're so expensive. ViBe brought some queens down there. Ooh, losing another one. He brought some queens up for the transfuse. But we gotta get those Mutas and Corruptors in there to protect those Broodlords.
And we do have a drop going on that's killing the 5th as well. ViBe actually just running all of his Zerglings back and not going to get there in time. In fact, those units are just going to drop right down into his 4th and inflict a little more economic damage.
Yeah, I guess so. And this whole force for GoSu.ViBe is just being pushed back here. Oh no, losing potentially another Broodlord.
Yeah, could very well go down. Very low on health, but that drop just continuing to do damage. And Sparta actually finding himself in a position where he can start to move up a little bit, moving forward with a lot of Marines, and 2 Broodlords are going down.
Such a big army for ViBe, though. Is it going to be enough? Here come all the Zerglings catching a bit of the army away, and this is going to at least do a lot of damage. Nice fumble on those Marines.
Yeah, certainly.
And now with just basically only tanks. Oh, well, more Marines survived than I really thought they would. That drop still doing damage. ViBe needs to clean this up.
Yes, certainly. Hopefully you pick off a couple of Mutas now, though. Sparta. No, not. Okay, just keep shooting the hatch rate. Down to 200 hit points now. Should be able to move around a few units and take that out. Just going pure Marine Viking at the moment. There are only 5 Broodlords remaining on the field.
Yeah, I really can't believe that drop got to kind of sit around there and do damage for as long as it did. ViBe looks like he's kind of being taxed to his limits this game.
Yes, he is.
He's still a bit ahead, but, you know, will he be able to keep that lead? Looks like a little bit of red forces moving up towards that top base again, too.
Oh, good nice fungal goes down. A lot of the Vikings are right to dust.
Yep, that helps quite a bit, but still needs to be a little bit careful about this.
Let's see here as these Broodlords are so low in health right now. They are going to start sieging this position, though, making their way up. Thor's starting to go after the Broodlords, but that's never a situation that you want because it takes so long for Thor to go through those air units.
Yeah, ViBe being a bit indecisive, but oh, here he goes. See what I mean? Yeah, but he's still got the Broodlord siege going up. He doesn't need to move in with those Zerglings and Banelings quite yet anyway.
And he's finally broken the air defense, which has forced Sparta to unsiege at the moment. Oh, Sparta does kill the hatchery over here inside of the pocket.
Yeah, Sparta's still being really good about being aware of what damage he can do to his opponent to try to get back into this game. But I think it's just going to be a little bit too much here.
Yeah, it looks like finally those tanks sieging up once again, and they really only hit a bunch of Broodlings. Not many of the Banelings did actually go down there. ViBe is still up by 35 supply, as we've mentioned, but this is a base advantage for Sparta at the moment, and that's a good place for him to be in, even though he does have a lot of ground to still make up.
Yeah, now if ViBe can actually take out this base, that would be gigantically good for him. The upgrades are looking really good right now for Sparta, too, though.
Yeah, certainly. Does he have any mech upgrades? Yeah, he even has +1 weapons there as well. 3-3 is on the way, as you were referring to. And unfortunately, these tanks were a little bit caught out there. I don't know if he's just using them as a magnet towards his planetary fortress.
ViBe could just go for it right now, but, you know, another drop, and Sparta's really doing some damage with these drops here.
Yeah, and he's got another one coming over into the main. These Blue Lords have started to siege up the planetary fortress. +1 attacks has not been done, so Breathing Strike is quite a bit weaker, and Sparta could do some damage, actually forcing back most of the units from ViBe.
Yeah, I guess so. These infestors need to be taken care of as well. And, yep, so this drop should be eliminated. Should get the medevacs too. That'll help quite a bit.
Yeah, hopefully he's able to move over there with some air units. The Corruptor's trying to cut off that
Yeah,
path.
should get one, but maybe not the one with any units in it.
Right, so not a terrible loss there for Sparta. He has closed that supply gap just a little bit. 23 supply now separating our two players. We have once again moved into a very long game. No cheat games in this tournament so far.
Guess not, man. All right, one Viking's not going to be enough to handle those Brood Lords. You know, it's kind of like I mentioned earlier, ViBe is just so far ahead that even though Sparta has done a great job of capitalizing on little mistakes here and there that his opponent has made, I don't know, ViBe is still, for now anyway, got the advantage, but 3 Vikings at once being produced by Sparta, that might be exactly what he needs to take care of this at Ghost Academy as well. He's not out of this quite yet.
You need to see mass repair, of course, that planetary fortress racking up kills and broodlings. It's not exactly the most valuable units, but still, yeah, kind of ridiculous.
Give awards.
Oh, there's the fungal growth I was looking for, and boom! Bye-bye SCVs.
Yep, another big drop coming into the main, but you know, is it going to be too little too late? There are some Zerglings there to defend. 115 kill, 117. Wow, that planetary fortress really got some money's worth.
Yeah, certainly. Oh, it looks like he's going to go right after the Greater Spire, but a problem is there's already too many units that are sitting there for ViBe, but a great position to engage.
Yeah.
And he's actually going to be able to annihilate all of those Zerglings.
Yes, he will. Those upgrades for the Marines really showing their worth here. And Transfuse on the Queen's trying to keep him alive, but that is a ton of DPS coming out from those Marines.
Yeah, certainly.
Man, drops like this are just so hard to handle later in the game if you don't just deal with them with overwhelming force immediately.
Right, and it looks like that medevac is going to go down. Everything dies out of there. Still a 26 supply advantage now for ViBe, but oh my god, there's just no mining left. None.
Yep, ViBe, you know, he's been so far ahead for so long that the economy of Sparta is dried up at this point, and so Sparta needs to win with this push, and, you know, that's not going to really help get everything fungled.
No, not at all, and Sparta loses the vast majority of his anti-air there. Another fungal growth went down, and watch all the Vikings disappear.
Goodbye.
All right.
So ViBe looks to be on a victory march right now. I don't think there's a whole lot that Sparta can do to defend the rest of this.
And let's see here, as unfortunately that Thor is going to bite the dust. Nothing you can do about that. 16 hit points. It will go down, I promise you. Okay, so let's see. It looks like this is going to be a bit of a victory dance that we mentioned for ViBe, moving up with full energy. Queens behind this. Yeah, and a lot of transfusions going to hit here in a second. There they are.
Yep, late game TVZ looking pretty good right now for ViBe.
Yeah, so it looks like ViBe is going to take a game back now for its GoSu, making it 4-2. They were on the brink of elimination.
Yeah,
that's brink in English, not brink. So,
Scatman. Scoot up. Brink.
All right, Infestors coming through now. Couldn't pick up a bunch of infested Terrans, and that's exactly what happened.
GG.
There's the GG from Sparta, though, and ViBe has taken this game for its GoSu. It is now 4-2, and we are going to move into game number 7 now.